Thomas Jefferson once said that we in America do not have a government by majority, but a government by those who participate. One key element of participation is exercising the right to vote. Connecticut and the rest of the nation just went to the polls for 2025, and municipal registrars of voters are essential to making sure that things go smoothly on Election Day. Local elections are massive undertakings that take coordination between the Secretary of the State and the towns. In this interview from our archives, we brought on Lori Brangi and Patty Jackson Marshall, the Republican and Democratic registrars of voters for the town of North Haven at the time, to speak about the underappreciated position of running democracy's most crucial function, the election. The Municipal Voice is the Connecticut Conference of the Municipalities podcast in collaboration with WNHH LP 103.5 FM. I'm your host, Matt Ford. As always, be sure to give us a like and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. CCM's Municipal Voice podcast continues to present a key forum on important state-local issues. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect the consensus views of CCM or municipal leaders. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Could you introduce yourselves again just for everyone at home?
Sure. Lori Brangi, I'm the Republican Registrar of Voters in North Haven.
Patty Jackson Marshall, I'm Democrat Registrar of Voters in North Haven.
Well, thanks for being here. Usually in the Municipal Voice, we like to start at the beginning with a description of what it is that you do and who you represent. So we just had an election, which is the end result of a lot of what you do. What does Election Day look like for you as the registrars of voters? Are you, run around from poll to poll, polling center? Are you, by the time Election Day comes, has all your work already been done? Theoretically, we'll start over here.
Oh, I was going to say she's got something written. No, our job does not end on Election Day.
Okay.
It actually is just beginning, really. Mm-hmm. As it relates to running from poll to poll, no. Typically, we are focused on in the office. Mm-hmm. We're really kind of... So we have 6 polling places mm-hmm. in North Haven. So our moderators, when they have issues, we're their first mm-hmm. place to go.
Okay.
But I will say this. So when they come in with questions, when there are issues that run on
mm-hmm.
Election Day, we get our guidance, though, from the state.
Okay.
So
the people that come to you, are they volunteers generally? Is that who's running the individual locations? How does that work?
We hire them.
Okay.
We hire people.
They're paid.
Okay, so
oh yeah.
So there's paid one at each location, and if something goes wrong, you're the person they call. You two are who they call. Say something's going on, and then you two either can answer that question, or if it's something,
troubleshoot to the best of our ability,
or you might need to go up.
Correct.
Yeah.
Next state,
we troubleshoot. We call the Secretary of State if we need
mm-hmm.
further guidance. If we need to, we go visit the district.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a lot of times it's small things that can take
mm-hmm.
care of itself. We're the first person they call. We should be, unless it's an emergency, and then they would call, of course, 911.
But
election problems, not bigger problems
are our
at
forte.
election sites. Yeah.
But a lot of our day-to-day on Election Day is Election Day registration because
mm-hmm.
because we are considered a mid-sized town.
Mm-hmm.
We're not a city like New Haven or Waterbury or a lot of what we do is run the Election
mm-hmm.
Day registration with other, we hire other people to
mm-hmm.
help us with that task, but a good chunk of it falls on our shoulders as well.
Okay. So before you get to that point, you have to maintain the voter registry.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of work goes into that? Can you tell us a little bit about the voter registry and kind of how that all plays out?
Voter registration takes place online. It takes place in person,
mm-hmm.
and maintaining it is just entering it into the state system.
Mm-hmm.
But that's day to day.
That's
every day.
It's every day.
Yeah.
There's new stuff.
Not just an election year, just kind of
ongoing.
No,
we remove
day.
people,
mm-hmm.
that have passed away, things like that.
Okay.
Day to day.
Or moved away.
You said they can do it online. Is that through the town's web? Like where do people go to do that? It's through the state website.
Through the state or through DMV.
It's DMV. Based.
Okay. So if someone wanted to do that online, they would go to the DMV's website and
go to the
search through
Secretary of State's website.
Or the Secretary of State's website. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Another issue that pops up sometimes is absentee ballots. It's been an issue that keeps popping up, and it's your job to maintain those ballots. What does it look like to you?
you know, and you have a list, are you checking it twice? Do you cross-reference each other's work? Because there's two of you. So, like, how does that dynamic work?
Basically, everything we do together.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, like, go out on our own on any of this. And that's state mandated.
Mhm.
But other than that, the absentee ballots are actually the beginning of that process
Mm-hmm.
is with the town clerk's office.
Mm-hmm.
So on election day, they give them over to us, hand them over to us, and they sign affidavits that they are what they are, and
Mm-hmm.
there's this many and that many, and we take them, and then our absentee staff counts them and tallies them on election day at the end of the day, and after that, everything is locked up and sealed up and put into bags. So,
Also by state mandate.
yes,
Correct.
Okay, so you said that
Absolutely.
the structure, the way you guys handle it is by state. Can you talk a little bit about like just how that's set up in Connecticut for state registrars? What are the mandates? Like, what's kind of the structure
of
registrars of voters? Like, you know, you say there's the mandates. So how does that? Every town has two registrars,
Mhm.
a
Right.
Republican and a Democrat, and
Correct.
that's part of the rules.
Correct.
Now I know you said you guys are full time. Are all towns full
No,
time?
we're not.
Part time.
Oh, you're part time.
We are part time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good to know. Are there full time registrars?
Oh,
in
there's a lot of
so like bigger
cities.
cities might have.
big cities.
Okay.
Waterbury. I'm gonna say New Haven's probably a full time position.
Mm-hmm.
I know Norwalk is.
Yeah.
That's where I'm originally from.
Waterbury.
Well, I said Waterbury.
Oh.
Hartford is
Mhm.
full time.
Okay. But so you're part time, but you're permanent, so it's not a temporary.
We're elected.
We're elected. Okay.
We're elected. Yes.
So people vote for the registrar of voters.
Yeah.
Correct.
And they you both up in
Next
the
year.
Next year.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So are you guys in charge of counting your own votes?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, not really.
Well, not really, because you're checking
Because
each
we
other's
have
work.
well,
And there's
yes,
like
we check each other, but we have a
Yeah.
staff who counts.
Okay.
So yes, but the rules and
But there are rules set up for that exact
Sure.
reason. I'm
that
sure,
say
right?
that we are allowed to conduct and do our job as registrars, even if we are on the ballot.
Okay.
So
We're basically the town committees, the
Mhm.
Democratic and the Republican town committees select someone to be the registrar, or
Mhm.
appoint someone, and then they run for elective office. And the elective office happens, is it every 2 years? Seems like it's
yes,
Mhm.
we're every 2 years.
every 2 years.
But just to interject on that, there are some towns and cities that
Mhm.
are 4 years. We
If-
don't know.
Well, we
I
have
don't remember the
169
exact
towns. There's a
ruling.
lot of history and stuff
But
in
some
different
some
towns.
towns and cities are 4, and we just happen to be 2.
Yeah. Okay. But so the town committees
Well, they select
N-
somebody
select
or
somebody
ask
and-
someone to go for this, and then
Mhm.
you're elected. But honestly, if Lori's husband votes for her and my husband votes for me,
Yeah.
we're good.
We maintain our jobs
If there's not
because
a
there's nobody opposing us.
yeah. Now theoretically could like an
Yes.
independent run for registrar Okay.
Mhm.
if they
And
wanted
and
to
there
and
have
put the money
been
in.
towns that we know of where long-standing registrars, their jobs were in jeopardy, and there was a primary, and it can happen.
Yeah.
Primaries can happen for our job.
Okay. So in
We just
North
don't see it
Haven,
in North
in
Haven.
North Haven, everyone seems pretty happy with the work you guys are doing. There's no controversy around it.
No,
We hope.
we hope.
Right. But it could happen where
Yes,
for whatever
it
reason
has happened.
someone
Yes.
either really thinks that they'd be better at it or thinks that
Correct.
whoever's doing it is doing it wrong and could run theoretically as independent for that
Well,
office. Oh,
I
okay.
think they'd have to run with a party.
Would they?
They'd have to run against us as a party.
Yes.
It'd have
Oh.
to be a recognized party.
So it could
Because I
it
think
could
the
be
only-
a third party, but they would have to have a party that had
No, I think it would be a Republican or a Democrat would have to say, no, I want that position,
Mhm.
and gather signatures, get a petition,
petition would be the way they would go about
and
that.
then force a primary.
Wow. That would be some drama.
I think the only
yeah.
town or the only city that has
Had-
3
Had a working family. Hartford,
was Hartford.
that I can recall.
Yeah. So there's nothing necessarily in the future preventing it from happening, but it's not a common scenario in Connecticut. Gotcha. So the Registrar of Voter Association of Connecticut, or ROVAC,
Mm-hmm.
says that the HAVA and HIPAA bills have increased the workload for registrars. What do you think of that? Is that something that you've encountered?
Our workload really hasn't changed because we both came in. It was 2002 that
Mhm.
was enacted. Our workload, because we came in and it was already in
So that
process.
was already there.
Yeah. It was
already
Could
in
you,
place.
so for the people at home, how would the HAVA and HIPAA stuff affect the Registrar of Voters? Like, what's the connection there?
Well, there was changes in what they required for voting equipment.
Okay.
Accessibility to voting equipment.
Okay. So it's the HIPAA thing is accessibility for.
Well,
Mhm.
part of it is.
Okay.
It's making it more manageable and easier to register to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Voter rights were included in it. So it may have increased the amount of people who had access to registering to vote, which
Mhm.
then increased the workload. But we weren't really privy
You
to
came in.
that.
You came
Yeah.
into the
And
workload
it was
as
already
it exists now.
established, and
Yeah.
so therefore it's always been part of our day-to-day and part of our day-to-day getting ready for an election and gearing up for an election. So we haven't really noticed a change because
Okay.
it's always been a part of what we've done.
And considering that it all went off, we had an election. It seems like you guys are handling that, so it's
Yes.
manageable at least.
Mhm.
But that's interesting, the HIPAA thing, because we read that when we were looking into registrars and what they do, and I'm like, HIPAA, how does the healthcare, but accessibility issues,
Accessibility
yes.
issues.
Mm-hmm.
So as registrars of voters, you have a charge to schedule and conduct voter registration sessions. This is a big discussion around Election Day and causes issues in some cities and states. We have a couple different ways to register. You said online, in person. Who is eligible to vote?
In North Haven,
Yeah.
U.S. citizens, 18 years of age, and town resident.
And that's it?
They have to be a town resident.
Yeah.
They have to be a town resident
Yes.
For North Haven.
for North Haven. That's a similar requirement, so it sounds like there should be a lot of people doing that, right?
Yes, but there's
Yeah.
still a lot of people who don't.
Yeah. we should encourage them all to do so, right? Let's see. We talked a little bit about same day voter registration before. It's a question a lot of viewers might have. For instance, once you register to vote, are you always registered to vote?
Yes. We can't remove you.
Okay.
And this is interesting, especially with an election that just happened 2 weeks ago,
Mhm.
2.5 weeks ago, whatever it's been at this point, because, Patty, you fielded a phone call yesterday from a gentleman who thought that he had been removed.
Okay.
But even if somebody walks in, let's say mom walks in and her son's now living out in California and tells somebody at the poll, a poll worker that
Yep.
my son's been living in California for the last 5 years, he should be removed. We can make a note of that.
Mm-hmm.
But unless we have something physically in writing, we're not, it's against the law for us to just remove somebody
Yeah.
from our active registry. But what that prompts Patty and I to do
Mm-hmm.
is to say, okay, we'll jot down his name
Mm-hmm.
and we will send a letter when we do what's called our annual canvass.
Okay.
And we'll ask the question, have you moved out of town?
Hey, are you still there?
And
Right.
they have the right at that point to write back to us and ask to be removed.
Okay. So, but if you don't get a response, you don't get to assume that
No.
that
Correct.
means they're not there. They have to write back and say, yes, I have moved. Please take me off.
Correct. And sign it.
Okay. And sign it.
Yes.
And we use obituaries. And we use,
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Well,
the
it's-
DMV provides us with people who have moved out of town.
Okay.
And that
Now,
provides us
with the DMV thing, they've done the official change of address with their license.
that is a list that comes through on our
Mhm.
system, the Connecticut voter registration system.
Yeah.
And they send us a daily list of people who have moved out of town and
Yeah.
registered in a new town, and
Yeah.
that gives us permission to remove them.
Yeah. Now, the daily list, is that just for North Haven residents that they give you, or do they give you the whole
It's
list and
just-
you have to go through it?
No, it's just our list, just North Haven.
I say, I
So
wonder-
it happens
So
town
you
to
don't get a
town.
list of how many people are moving in and out of Connecticut every day. That would be an interesting factoid for me
That
personally.
I don't know.
mostly it's moving within Connecticut.
All right, yeah, people moving across,
Yeah.
buying a new house, that sort
But
of
that
thing.
type of a list that you're looking for, that might be something that the state can provide.
So that would be a little factoid. I don't know if it relates to this discussion necessarily, but
yeah, I don't know.
it's
yeah.
interesting stuff. So if the DMV sends you the list and says they did move, does that constitute the officialness, or do you still
Yes.
need to send them the thing?
No.
Okay, so they wrote
Well,
to
we
the
still
state
follow up
government,
with
the
a
DMV,
letter.
and said, I have moved. Give me my new license, and that counts as
The
them.
list actually comes from Secretary of State's
Mhm.
office through the DMV, and they work together to provide this.
Got it.
list.
Yeah.
But the person went to the DMV and said something official, and they signed something there that
Yes.
said,
Or
"I'm
they-
moving."
And we still
Or they
send them a
registered
letter
their car.
Okay.
and
in
we
another
remove
town.
them.
Mhm.
But because now we have proof from DMV that you've moved.
Yeah.
And every once in a while we get somebody who says, no, that really wasn't me. I know.
Every
Yeah.
once in a while.
Now,
No,
you said you
No.
look at obituaries. What's the process there? Is it you need something from the court or the
No.
coroner?
Oh,
that
no,
says
we
they're
look in the
dead?
paper,
we look
Yeah.
in the New Haven.
the New
Register.
Haven Register,
Okay.
every morning.
Okay.
And we look to see if anybody, unfortunately, has passed.
Mhm.
We look them up to see if they're a voter. And then we
But
can
in
remove
the
them.
case of that, you can say they have passed. You don't need to get permission.
Well,
from...
the obituary is proof.
Okay.
The obituary is.
You don't need to get like the
state
next of
deems
kin
that
to
as
sign
proof.
off and
No.
say yes, they have died.
No.
That would seem a little bit like a call someone didn't necessarily want to
We
get.
get people who do call us, which is we're grateful
To
for
let
that
you-
because sometimes you don't post an obituary, but other than that, we wouldn't remove them.
Lots and lots of different little issues, minutia that are related. So there's no way for someone just accidentally become unregistered. It's not going to get lost. It's not going to
No.
just carry out. Oh, you haven't voted in 10 years. You're done. You're on that list.
We do a canvass every year,
Mhm.
and if we've sent out letters requesting that they return them, and if they don't return them after 30 days, we put them into an inactive file.
Mhm.
And there's various reasons for doing that. And after 4 years in the inactive file, if they haven't responded, come in,
Mhm.
voted, tried to get out of the inactive file, the state puts them in the off
Okay.
file, and we are putting them in off where I guess they stay there for another year,
Mhm.
and then they're removed, they're purged.
So
So
5 years, you've gotten letters, you haven't voted at all, you've ignored everything,
or they've moved away and
or they've moved away.
they just can't respond.
And they just don't respond. Yeah.
But if that person then shows up on election day to your office to say, I want to re-register.
They can be restored if they're
Yeah.
still in the inactive file. They can
Hmm.
be restored to vote. They fill out a new card with their
Mhm.
new information, and they're restored, and they can vote that day. If they're in the off file, they'll just fill out a new form. They'd have to
Mhm.
come into the EDR location, and
The EDR, what does EDR stand for?
Election day registration.
Election day registration.
Yeah.
And you have the location. Where would that be in North Haven?
It's in our town hall.
It's in Town Hall.
Yeah. Yeah.
we have to have access to our computers.
That's where the systems are.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because you set up all around or voting polling places in schools in North Haven. Where are people going?
Yes, our polling places are located in the elementary schools and then at our rec center
In the gyms.
in the gyms.
All right. Yeah. So a pretty standard setup. I remember going
Yeah.
to plenty of locations like that. Some people out there are pushing for automatic voter registration, whereby all voters would just be automatically registered to vote. How would that affect your job of preparing registration? And do you think it would have a meaningful impact on election day for registrars around the state? Automatic. What's pros and cons?
Well, I mean, as I started to say before, I don't think everybody wants to be registered, and and I don't think it's necessarily because they don't want to exercise their right to vote.
Mhm.
There are some people who associate our office with, I get put on a list, that list gets disseminated across the state for jury duty.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of people who want to be removed because they don't want to be called for jury duty.
Huh. Jury, and that's one of the things?
Yeah.
All right, tell me about this. Voter registration is where they find your name for jury duty?
Well,
It's one of the ways.
places.
One of the ways.
DMV is also another
DMV
place.
is also. Okay. So.
But it's the one that gets talked about the most because that's what the word is, that if you're on a voter list, you're on the jury list. So we get a lot of calls about removing, if they've moved away and they haven't bothered to tell us for years and years, that's the call we'll get. Whereas, I just got a jury notice and I haven't lived in North Haven for 14 years or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a problem for, I guess, our reputation that we have them on the list. But
they also get it from the DMV, from the license.
yeah,
so
they get it from other
if you have a
places.
driver's license and you're driving, you
You could
you're
also
on that
be
list
put on
anyway.
a list.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
We're all on the list somewhere.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
And I think, too, because it's a public information, if you register to
Mhm.
vote, it's public. Your information is public for the most part. That concerns most people in this technology age. So, yeah.
So that's people's concerns, but as you say, it's not really, there's not a lot necessarily founding that because their names are on the other stuff anyway. So beyond people's fears, what do you think? Automatic? Would it cause you guys headaches? Would it complicate elections, or would it just be a change that you would
there
deal
would be
with?
a lot of duplication,
Could be.
and that might be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Duplication of voters because they're already in the system, and now we have another card for them. And
Yeah.
I'm sure that it would not be put in place until some of the kinks had worked out. But
Yeah.
Yeah, because in speaking about duplication, well, not necessarily duplication, but
Mm-hmm.
with the new online system through DMV, so when you go to DMV, they offer you the option to register to vote.
Yep.
And a lot of people, and it's just because they don't realize that once you're registered to vote, you're always registered to vote. So they will fill out that card again online, and it gets submitted to us. And so really what it does is it just makes more busy work for us.
Okay.
Because there are people who have stacks of cards because, I went to DMV, and so now I have to register to vote again. And
They think,
so
think it's like if you got a new license, you got to re-register. It's just part of the
correct.
thing. Okay. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I always went to AAA, although I think they're not doing that right now.
they are.
Connecticut. Oh, I've been told I need to let everyone at home know that you are listening to the Municipal Voice and WNHH LP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We are streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org. We are also streaming live video on Facebook Live. Just go to facebook.com/New Haven Independent or check out the CCM Facebook page. All right. So we've talked, about people registering, whatever, but on the kind of physical, real world level, you guys are responsible for voting machines. Is that right? You oversee the voting machines?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So some viewers and listeners might be old enough to remember, like in Florida, the hanging chads thing. There's been fears of digital machines being hacked. What equipment do you guys use in North Haven? What's kind of being used across the state? And I don't know where. What are your thoughts on the security of the machines and that sort of thing?
The entire state uses tabulators.
Tabulators.
That
Okay.
were approved by the Secretary of State.
Okay, so that's another one of those things that falls under the state rules and regulations. That
Yes.
Okay, and tabulators. What the tabulators are the ones that I'm assuming that I was using where I fill in the circle.
Mhm.
Yes,
I
there are
bring it
no
over.
chads.
There's no chads to hang.
No. Everybody in the state of Connecticut
We're
uses a paper
chat-free.
ballot.
Okay.
We use a paper ballot that's read by a tabulator. We were talking
Okay.
about it this morning. They're I don't want to use the word, but you used it this morning, so it's in my head. It's like a cash register because it tabulates. It literally
Just add stuff.
it
up.
adds stuff.
It's like the SATs. When you took them, I took them many years ago. When you take those, they used to bubble in with, and you had to use a certain kind of pencil. This you have to-
Number two.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and this you have to use a black or blue pen, and you have to color in the bubble, and
Yeah, and I colored
reads
in,
it.
but you can't just put in abacadabra the whole way down and get at least a 70 on the test, right?
No.
No.
Okay. A, B.
And then it gets run and pushed through a tabulator.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a memory card.
Okay.
It does all the calculations. There's a card.
A card.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not hooked up to the internet.
No.
No.
So there's no
No.
hackers sneaking into Connecticut's machines to change stuff
No.
around.
There's a memory card inside the tabulator that does
Each physical machine
has its own,
Locked
gets-
in.
and they're locked
It's
in.
locked in. The poll workers can't get to it
No.
on their own.
No.
Voters can't get to it.
No.
Spies can't get to it.
No.
Whoever we're worried about. So they're locked up.
The tabulator produces an election results tape at the end of the night,
Mhm.
and that has it's like a cash register tape.
Yeah.
It's you can read each office is listed and the number of votes gained in that district.
Okay. And if something failed, the tabulator broke, the card doesn't work,
We have
it
that.
has
We have backups.
it has the hard copies in the machine. So if you had to, you could count them by hand or something
Well, there's
else.
different procedures for
Yeah,
that.
what other procedures?
Well,
We would start with a backup machine
Okay.
that has a new. So there'd be a new machine
Okay,
with
so the
a
machine
new
broke.
memory card.
And you say, oh, this one's broken. It's not letting it go. You open it up and you take those out and you rerun them through
A new
one that
machine.
is working. That'll
Mhm.
count those and you say, okay, that
I've
one's
done
broken.
it might be
These
at
are-
the end of the night. It might be if there's several hundred, maybe you could do it on the side. And while people put it, there's an auxiliary sleeve that they can put them into the ballot box that they can put their ballots in, and they will be counted at the end.
So
of the night.
I showed up to vote, and I got my half-hour window before I have to go to work. I get to the thing, and the machine's not working. I'm not done. It's just I put it in the side thing, and it gets run through the auxiliary.
And it gets explained to you by the people running our district. It gets explained that your vote is going to count, and it will get run through the machine, and whatever the technical issue is at the time. But we've had it happen.
It happens not often, but
not often.
It is a thing, and you have procedures in place.
With a belt break.
A belt. Oh,
because there's like a timing belt
machinery
inside.
that actually goes zip and draws it in. And
correct. And it broke, and it did it at 7:30 at night. And myself and Patty's deputy went over to a district, and we had to rerun the entire district through the machine.
And how fast does the machine go through something like that?
Oh,
because
it took us about
I
an
see
hour.
I see it happening one at a time. Can you say or do you have to do them one at a time?
One at a time.
You have to hand feed it.
You hand feed it.
Wow. Okay, so that could be a lot of work for you.
We got on a roll. Me and her deputy were on a roll. It took us a little over an hour to reprocess.
And kind of get the system going. And
we did.
Someone looks at, someone sticks in, and
it was but it's one at a time. It's literally feeding one piece of paper in at a time,
which is time consuming, but I'm guessing helps. Make sure that everyone's getting counted.
Well, that's easier than hand counting.
It's still easier than hand counting.
It's still easier than hand
counting. If you have a lot of
races,
that's a long day.
Yeah. How many races were in North Haven in this last election?
17. We had a double-sided ballot. I think it was 17.
Okay, I was
local.
I live in New Haven. Ours was pretty short this last one.
Oh no, we had 17. It was a double-sided ballot.
We have boards and commissions.
Boards and commissions. Yeah.
And was it? How was the turnout in North Haven?
It was 33, 34%, I think.
Yeah.
And where's that kind of fall for you guys?
Basic for a municipal. It's unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, that's low, I think.
Well, I think what the public sees is that our first selectman ran unopposed.
Yep.
And so therefore, if the town views it as Mike's doing a good job, I don't need to go out and vote. But there are other positions and boards that are just as important, equally as important.
They're important, but maybe don't get the headlines, aren't as exciting.
Correct.
People don't get worked up. Speaking about exciting, people getting all fired up. Next year, presidential election. So we said, 33% for this year. What do you think in a presidential year?
So 2016 we had 86%.
86%.
Yeah.
For 2016, and you think you'll break that this time probably? You're sensing that?
Yeah.
So you're expecting a big turnout next year.
Yes.
What's North Haven doing to prepare
Well, we
for
started
this?
thinking about it on the 6th of November, the day after the last election.
We've already mentally started to go there, as crazy as it is.
We have presidential primaries in April, on the 28th of April. Yeah. So I've already started thinking about that long ago, because that nightmares happen because of primaries.
So you guys don't get to go on vacation after after the election and just
this
say,
year's not a vacation.
We'll worry
year.
about that in six months or something. It's all right. We did that. Let's.
It's daunting. The next year is daunting. We not only have that, we have local referenda, and we may have another primary in August. If something happens statewide, that there's a senatorial primary or something like that.
And so the one in August, when would you actually find out about something like that? Like how quickly do you have to turn something like that around?
Well, there's a deadline for, I guess, primarying an incumbent, or it could be something like that. So we would know. The state would have a deadline. I'm going to guess July. We would know.
So you'd find out by July, but then by August you'd have to be ready to go.
Correct. It's August 10th, I believe.
It's the
second Tuesday in August.
Huh.
But we're not sure right now, so we have a holding pattern for that.
If something like that does happen, how does that affect your budget? How does that work?
Well, our budgets, our fiscal year is July 1st, so we just have to kind of plan in our head for it.
Like you just kind of account for we might have a special, so we need to leave some aside for that?
We always budget for at least 3 elections a year. Our budget is currently set up that way. Because the unexpected can always happen,
and you'd rather not need it.
Correct, and it's sometimes it's not a primary, but sometimes it's another referenda. which that's happened to us. So, I mean, we held a referendum 2 weeks before the presidential election in 2016.
On what was that all about?
Fire.
Yeah. No, police department.
Oh, police department.
Oh, the police department. And
New
how
building.
How does that process work? The referenda, just enough people sign on? What's the process for making one of those happen?
Selectmen call for it. The selectmen call for it. It's a town meeting.
Okay.
They vote on it, and it gets sent to us that they're going to do this. You know, it wouldn't have been our choice. October 25th, before the 2016 election, it wouldn't have been what this is our job, and that's what we do.
And then once again, we had to get special instructions from the state because typically after any election event, your machines go on lockdown for 14 days. Well, 14 days was the day of the presidential election.
Oh,
we had to get special instructions about
that we want to have a referendum, and then because it's election day,
correct. So the day after we held a referendum, we had permission from the state to unlock those machines and go in and then test and get ready for
put new memory cards in. Yep.
We have separate memory cards for that.
Okay, new memory card. Tell me about this. So in the machines they get replaced. It's not just you don't just hit delete and start again or reset the counter.
We have special memory cards for referendum.
It gets its own card, and that's like is that saved somewhere, like as part of the permanent record?
Well, those cards are they're programmed to just read yes/no questions
for the referendum.
For the referendum, but cards for presidential elections, primaries, municipal. Those are all programmed through an outside company. We send our to be programmed. So there's totally separate cards.
So it has to know that it's only asking this question on this one, and on this one it's got this person, this person, and this person. And that process is done by the company so that no person here could.
The town clerk sends it
either mess it up by not doing it right, or we don't like to think this, but someone couldn't also mess with it for their own nefarious means because it's not in your hands.
The state has sent them the format.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you send those things in, they send you new ones.
Well, they just reprogram our current cards.
So it's just them doing it is the real thing.
It's like a coding.
It's taking it out of your hands and being like, stick that in. It's the right one for this particular setup. Wow. All right. Yeah. Oh, there's one other thing I've always been curious about. What do you think about the idea of Election Day being a national holiday, where everyone gets the day off to go vote?
Except us.
Well, except for you, yes. Yeah, it's like being Santa on Christmas. It comes with the territory. But what do you think? Would that make it easier?
I wouldn't be opposed.
Yeah.
We do hear from a lot of parents when Election Day is off about childcare issues. We don't hear it. We hear it from other people.
Right.
But childcare issues and stuff because it's a Tuesday.
It's a weekday. A lot of people got to go to work. They got to get the kid to school. Are the schools where you hold stuff? Are they
they're
open
always
that day?
closed.
They're closed for that day.
The superintendent
in North Haven, they're always closed. Yeah.
So childcare might be even more of a concern for some people that day because the kids are home from school.
Well, in November, I think most people, because they've always been closed.
Yeah.
They're planned.
They know it's coming. It's kind of just the way things are done.
Yeah.
Huh. But I mean, you're there. You see when people are voting. When the problems are. Is there definitely, because of people having to go to work? Is there, is 7, 6? When do you open in the morning?
6 a.m.
So is 6 to before 9 when some people have to go to work? Is that
with
jammed?
a big rush in there? Yep.
And then after work, and is there a lunch rush?
After 3.
After 3.
Schools get out, or something gets out at 3. Not schools.
So if it was a holiday, theoretically at least, it might kind of spread that out a little bit, so people weren't trying to jam it in before or after.
It's hard to say.
Hard to say. Yeah.
I mean, we're theorizing that's the way that it would work, but we say to our poll workers, we can't control when people come in.
People are going to show up when they're going to show up.
People are going to show up when they show up.
But currently, there is definitely a before work in the morning rush and after work kind of rush. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. And something that's being talked about out there. So I guess we'll see if it ever happens. Luckily for me in New Haven, I have my polling location I can see it from my second floor window on a good day.
Wow.
I am. I'm lucky. They do a good job here in New Haven as well.
That is great.
Registrars of voters all over the state doing good stuff. Well, I'd like to thank you guys for being here today.
Municipal Voice is a co-production by CCM and WNHH 103.5 FM. Joe Thornton is our executive producer, Christopher Gilson is our producer, Mary Draws is on the boards, and I'm Matt Ford, your host. Be sure to check out our Facebook page and give us a like, and watch out for our CCM chat series on our YouTube page.